something. I use this method a lot when I want to bring in an image to create something, like in my transformer time-lapse tutorials. This is how I bring the images in. Hey there everybody, and welcome back to the Digital Paul Workshop. It is I, the shading errors that turn your masterpiece into an abstract nightmare, Techno Meow Tinkerer. And today we're going to be covering a few ways to import images into Blender. Now, if you watched my color tutorial, you probably already know a couple of those ways, and we'll be repeating some of them here. But we're going to go over a couple different ways how to bring the image in and how to apply it to the surface of some of your material or objects that you are creating. So let's log on in. Now, before we get too far along, as you can kind of see here, I got a plain thing set up, and I already got my UV editor selected because I'm going to be needing it. So before we get too much further, let me get myself in OBS to where I need to be, because I'm going to be having to work on this right side of the screen a lot. So one of the first ways you can bring an object into Blender is you hit Shift S, and it so happens it comes right up where I'm positioned, right on the thing I need to select, which is the image. Now, the reference in the background, I have not found no difference in this version of Blender. I'm using Blender 4.2.1 LTS right now. It's an upgrade because I was using one of the Blender 3 originally in a lot of my videos, and I decided to finally upgrade to C, and it did move a few things around, which is kind of a bit of an annoyance. But both of these are about the same, so I'm just going to click on a reference. Now I'm just going to select one of my normal backgrounds, and as you can see, it saves it up here, brings it up as an empty. So you may want to go in here and just type in something. I use this method a lot when I want to bring in an image to create something, like in my transformer time-lapse tutorials. This is how I bring the images in. And as you can see, it is at an angle. So one of the things we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and delete, is I'm going to click here on the X right here to get myself centered. Now, some people use the number pad, but that's going to just take too long for me. So here I hit Shift A again, and I bring in as a background image my computer. So now it is, whoops. Okay. Oh, that's the background. So actually it's doing the background right. Background image is when it's directly like this. Earlier, that might be the reason why it did something different to me earlier. So reference image I'm going to go with here. That's what I want. So reference image allows me to things. So that's the reason why when I was bringing that background, is I wasn't probably facing something directly like I needed to. So you kind of have to be facing on your X, Y, or Z axis for the background to come in, versus having it at an angle. Yeah, because I have tested it out before. So doing these tutorials, I discover something new. But yeah, like I said, this is where I usually will grab something like this, and then just grab G and move it to where I may want to use it. And one day I may want to recreate this actually in Blender, but that may be for a future time-lapse video, because I don't have to do all those cables, and that might be a different tutorial. But that's how you can bring it in as an image, especially if you want to use it. And background if you're trying to draw. This is great for when you need a copy. And now I've hit Shift A again, an image, and I do mesh plane, and we'll just do my Christmas. As you can see, it brings it in as a standard plane with an image on it. And if you tab in, you can see it down here in the UV editor, the stuff. I'll tab out for the bit, and the thing is, well, tab in, I can get my extrude tool, I can actually turn it into an object if need be, and boom, as you can see, it's kind of got on the front back. I don't know what it's doing with the side. Looks like it's just extruding the imagery. But that's how you can bring in as an image and then create it into a interesting thing. The bottom is like a reverse, it's like a mirror image of the top, so I'll give it that. So that's one interesting way of creating and bringing in. So Let's see, tab out. And let's go and bring you on over here. So this was reference. I'm just gonna put ref for short. Now another way to bring it in is we'll just go and create a mesh. Bring in my cube right here, and over here on our materials, we'll click new material. I want to go right here where it says base color, click on that, and come over here where it says image texture. And see it turned to all black. Now I'll come back over here where it says open, click on that, and then I'm going to bring in my Halloween one. And as you can see, it wraps it around the entire cube. Now if I do not want it wrapped around the entire cube, I can hit, well, first thing I'm going to hit tab, because this is how you're going to get in here and edit the thing. And so if now there's a couple ways I can sit here and select it all, or I can hit A for select. Now you got to make sure when you're up here that whatever piece you're, as you can see I click there and I can click there, how it's moving around on the image. So I got to make sure I hit A for all, unless I just want to go through one of these over here and select it that way. Same thing here. I got to click down here in this window, hit A for all. If I want to edit all of it, or you just want to edit part of it, you just select the area you do. I want to edit all of it. So I hit A for all, and then S for size. As you can see, I bring it up. As I do, it did reduce the size, but you see, it's kind of got it turned sideways, and I don't understand why Blender does it, why it has it one way here and not the same way there. So I'm going to hit down here, make sure I get everything. No, I don't want size. I want R for rotate. I'm going to hit -90 because I do want about 90 degrees. Now, this way is Y-axis, this way is X-axis. So you got to remember that. So if I hit SY for size, I can bring everything kind of close in. Get it close. Now, my experience with this is, for some reason, this line right here acts as a center point. So I'm going to G for grab, X, and I'm going to slide it over here. So I'm going to hit SX. As you can see, it extrudes it, not extrudes it, it stretches it out. Like I said, it acts like that. It's the center. Might have something to do with one of these. I have not played with these. It's similar to stuff up there. So you can see, I kind of got it. Of course, that's a squarish looking. Let me tab out of there. Hit S. Y-axis. I just don't remember which one it was. Get it kind of look. So now it's kind of looking a little bit better, like my thing is. But now, what if I wanted all on? I want it just on one side and not the others. Well, the easiest way to do it in this form, as you can, let me just. It's this way I want to do. Okay, we'll do it this way. I'm just going to go over here, make sure I got my X-ray turned on. I'm going to use the plane selector, and then I'm just going to highlight everything I want. As you can see here, it selects all the areas around it. Now you can probably come in here and do the same thing. Let's go back over here. Oh yeah, that's another thing too to remember. Parts of the thing is what if you switch. As you can see, only the reference image stays in view. But I can come over here and I can just add a new material. Hit the plus mark, hit new, and then I can just go in and assign this one. And you can probably do the same thing here. You can probably just come in, select. Let me see how. Let's try this. Let's try this. Select this. If I add a new, whoops, didn't mean to add two. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, let's give you a different color. Let's see if let's see if you do anything. You paste blue. Nope, it don't seem like it works that way. It's like you have to do it this way. And I still don't know why. So you have to do it that way. So you can't do it based on this down here. But that's basically how you can add an image to a surface and how you control which surfaces that image is on and which one is not. Now there is another way. I'm just going to go ahead and tab on out. We're going to create another. Let me first get this guy out of the way. Move you over here. I'll move this one on back too. So we're going to have another one. So if I'm going to hit bring in another cube, this time I'm going to go over to my shading editor. Let's see, slide, oh, come on, slide over. I want to give this a new mesh. Kind of get in here a little bit. And let's see, I want to go and hit open, and now let's just stick with my normal computer background. It's a PNG. Bring that in. I can go over here to where this, and I'm kind of in the way. I just realized that. Let me get over here and slide myself over just a little bit. So yeah, I clicked on that little folder earlier and hit the X off where it says open. Little folder. Move that in. It's right there still. And then I'm just going to grab this image and drag it over here. Now you can click and drag the image from your desktop on over it. You can do it that way too. So like if I hit delete and I come over here and I click and drag off my folder, it still does the same thing. So you got two different ways you can click and drag this image in. And so here I'm going to connect it from color to base color. And as you can see there, it's wrapping around. Now in the case I don't want to, as earlier, remember when I expanded it, it was doing this. I can get rid of that by going to clip. And so when I go back to the model mode here, well, might need carried. Oh, let me see, model. Maybe what's known as layout. That's what I want, the layout. I don't know why I think model. So when I go and I tab in here to edit and hit A for all, I can then come down here at A scale and try to get everything kind of close to where I need it to be. As you can still see, it's, for some reason, I still wish the Blender would tell me why, when it is the way I want to view it here, why they turn it on the object for. I have no idea. So I'm going to do a rotate of a -90 to get kind of where I need it to be. And grab you, bring you about center SY to scale you on down. And so I'm just basically doing a repeat of what I was doing earlier. But since I did that clip, I can now come in and I can select, as you can see, all the sides that are not showing. I got there. If it's not over this, it's not showing an image, so it's clipped the object. Now sometimes some of these will be like, if I grab, let me get this screen up a little bit more. Grab this, so I can click there, and now if I come down here and I hit A and I grab it, I move, you see it bring it in. So you can bring these, move them around if you want to. So if you want it on just, so that's another way, if you just want it on one side or two sides or all six sides or whatever you're using. So that's another way to do it. Now the last way I'm going to bring in is if you want to apply an image to a surface of an object. And just like we did here, but I'm going to do, let's do a, do we want to do a UV sphere or a cone? Let's do a cone. The cone don't hardly get any love. So in this case, we bring it in. Now I'm going to also bring in a plane. There's a couple different ways. Bring in a plane. I'm now going to go in back over here. Well, I think I want, no, I don't. This is not the, I do want the material. I do want to get a shading first. And in this case, let's bring I'm gonna just click and drag this image in. We'll bring in Optimus Prime. He's a PNG file with a transparent background. So I'm going to click I need to click the base color there. But I also need to, let's see, bring the alpha to the alpha. So I'm connecting both the alpha from the image to the principal, and I'm collecting the color. So I need both of those. And so we're going to go back to layout. In this case, let me turn the image up. I want to rotate you -90 degrees, kind of stretch you out a little bit more so you kind of look more like you're supposed to look. I'm going ahead and let's go ahead and rotate you up 90 degrees. Okay, let's get you about just to the size. I'm going to get him to the size I want him. I want him kind of like I'm going to place him on the cone here. So somewhere about like that. Okay, now I'm going to hit, let's see, is it right click S? Yep. Nope, that's not what I want. I want the smooth. I want the subdivide. Or was I supposed to do that first? Let's do the smooth. Maybe I was supposed to do the subdivide first. Let me get rid of the material. See if that would do, because I thought I was supposed to right click. Nope. I bet you I have to go into edit mode, don't I? Sit here and edit, right click. Yes, that's what I do. I had to go into edit and right click. I'm going to give it about 100. Whoops, that's 1,000. I want 100. And for the simple reason is that way, since I'm getting ready to apply it to the surface of the cone, I need to make sure everything can kind of bend. Now we can come out and we'll come over here to our modifiers, if I can remember. Add modifier, deforms the one you want. So this is another thing, like I said, the newer one, it got everything drop down so you can't see where stuff's at, so you have to kind of hunt if you don't know where it's at. And we're going to do our shrink wrap. And I'm going to do my eyedropper, click the cone. I want it, let's see, above surface. And let's go about 0.1. And that kind of does it, as you can kind of see. Part of the thing is the fact that the cone is not exactly. Now if I tab in, you can kind of see, and there's everything right there, so you can kind of see how it is. And tab out, so you can still kind of adjust it as you need it. And you can probably come over to the click on this shading. I'm trying to think, is there wasn't there, I was trying to think. Somebody said you have to change to alpha blend, but I never could find it in this version of maybe that's what I needed. I don't know. Nope. I have. You have to sit there and play around with it. That's, I mean, you can shrink wrap, as you can kind of see the. If I go and add, let's see, if I try to just add a color to my cone, I can add a color. And it kind of blends in. So if you got a PNG image, I don't know why it's doing this. Let's go back to modifiers. Let's see. Undo the modifier. Let me retry the modifier again. Maybe it's just something. Deform. I won't shrink wrap. Oh, I think. No, I did. Let's see. I thought I did above surface. We did a. Oh, I think what it is, I think I know. I think I'm supposed to do this first. Gotta go to the smooth shade. Then I add the modifier. Reform and shrink wrap. And let's see, we want above surface and probably about a 0.1. You're still doing something funky and weird. As you can see though, I slide it around. What if we get a subdivision? Let's just see what we do if we give you a subdivide. About a 10. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing it weird from when I was doing it earlier. I tried this out earlier and it didn't do it like this to me. So I don't know if there was something I changed and I forgot to change. But that is basically, let me get myself back in my proper self. So that's basically a couple different ways you can add an image to your, in Blender I should say, to different objects in Blender in different ways depending upon what you need. Well, if you found this information helpful and you like my content and you want to help support the channel, please like and subscribe and share this with anyone you think might be interested. Have a nice day.